James Lupton, delighted to be joined with Ruben Torres, undefeated, super lightweight, 15-0, 12 by stoppage. How are we doing, Ruben?
Everything's going good, man. Just like relaxing right now. We gotta go to the gym, get a little light shakeout. As you know, it's fight week. We fight on Saturday, so just taking it easy, getting these last few pounds off, and hopefully everybody can tune in to the fight Saturday.
Absolutely. I mentioned fight week. Just tell the fans, those who don't know, what is it like typically on fight week? What is your schedule like on fight week?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, during camp, we're waking up, running, and then going to the gym. Having your meals in between and all that. Just tweak little certain things like sparring is done, so we're not sparring at all this week. Runs are a little longer but less intense. No more sprint work. Your diet is a little bit more clean, meaning cutting out some carbs. It just depends how much weight you're losing and stuff like that. I got like 7 pounds, so I'm good right now. And just drinking a lot of water and sweating a lot. That's pretty much it.
In terms of the weight loss on a fight week, typically where do you want to be? How many pounds over do you want to be at the start of fight week?
It's different for I've heard a lot of things from other fighters, but I would say like just a general measure, probably like no more than like 10 pounds. Anything more than that is, now you're cutting into like more than just water weight. So that's when you got to be careful.
Well, we all know, it's very dangerous to cut weight, especially at the last minute. So you say 10 pounds, is that sort of the safe limit? Is that the bracket to do it safely?
I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm not no specialist. I'm just a boxer, man. But that's something that I've been able to stick to as far as like my career, and that works for me.
So for you personally, that's where you're comfortable at. Fantastic.
Yeah, no more than 10.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's talk about the fight night. Let us know. Tell us who's your opponent, where it is. I know you said it's California. Tell us a little bit about the fight for those who don't know.
My opponent, I'm going in there fighting an 8-rounder against Richard Zamora. He's 19-4, I want to say. I'm not too sure about his knockout ratio. I know he's a tough. I think he's coming out of Mexico. He's been in there with some top fighters. I think one of his last fights was against Mario Barrios. But I know that he's in this is an opportunity for him. So he's coming to win. He's looking to salvage his career or continue his career. But I know that I'm looking in there. I'm coming in to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm looking in there to make a statement and just do what I have to do to get past this and work my way up to the top.
You mentioned he's previously fought Mario Barrios fairly recently, who was, of course, the WBA regular champion at the weight. So, that shows us what sort of level and what sort of experience he has. For yourself, is this fair to say, the biggest step up in your career?
I would say, yeah. As far as somebody being in there that's been in there with a world-class competitor and some stuff like that, he's not washed up. He's not because he has a winning record. You know what I mean? And he's coming, like I said, he's coming in there to try to take my old way, try to get his win and move on with his career. So can't let him do that.
You mentioned a moment ago for him, he's coming to get the win to resurrect his career and get back to that top level. In that sense, for yourself, what would a win do for you? When does that propel you to?
To not let him, man. To not let him implement his game plan. Just whatever he comes with, whatever he brings to the table. I know he's had some experience, but I believe in myself, and I think I'm confident that we're going to come out victorious.
For yourself, obviously, you've got that undefeated record that you're looking to protect. How much pressure is that on you to stay undefeated?
I would say it's not that much pressure, to be honest. Because you're not looking in there to be like, oh, like I want to remain undefeated. It's more like you're just looking in there like, I know I'm gonna beat this dude. Like there's no way I'm gonna go out there and lose this fight. So pressure is like, it's just whatever. You don't really feel it. it's pressure every day. You deal with pressure from your parents. You deal with pressure from your lady. You know, so it's just like it's just another thing.
And you've mentioned this is on paper the biggest step up of your career so far. How pleased are you with the matchmaking, and how pleased are you with the way your career is progressing currently?
My promoter's doing a great job taking care of me. In my opinion, my promoter Thompson Boxing and my manager Danny Zamora, they've done a great job. You know, taking me to every level, like step by step, and guiding me. Because like it's not just we've been boxing for like well over like 13 years now. So I mean the sport is not all there is to it. Like there's also like the business side of things and things like that. So I think like for where we are right now, like I'm blessed and I'm thankful that they've given me the opportunity and they're doing a great job.
Obviously, at super lightweight, the king of the division is Josh Taylor. How far away do you feel you are from these world title shots?
Not far, man. I'm 23 right now. I'll be 24 in November. I think we could be going up for a world title before 25.
As you mentioned, obviously your age is certainly on your side. And as you mentioned, 15-0 so far. What are you looking at trying to get to maybe, let's say, 20-0 before a world title shot?
You know what? I never even really put a number on it like that. I think 20-0 sounds pretty good to go up for a world title shot. Yeah, that sounds nice.
I mean, when it's time, as you know. Let's go back a little bit. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about here and now, but I'd like to get to know a little bit about how you got into the sport. Why did you start boxing? How old were you? Do you remember your first day in the gym?
Yeah, I actually do. I was around like 9 years old, 9 years old. I was playing football at Rivera Park and Pico Rivera, and you know, like walking to the practice field every day, like we passed by the boxing gym, so there were like people, like boxers coming out to run, so they had the hand wraps on. And they open the door, and you kind of just like you're walking past, so you peek in there, and just like you know, you see people in the ring, you see people on the bag. You're like, okay, well, whatever, and then you just keep going to practice, and it was just like that for a good amount of time, and then until one day I just like asked my dad like, well, what is that over there? Why are they going to run, and why they got hand wraps and stuff? And I think he just kind of noticed that I was like kind of how do you say it, like curious. Yeah, I was curious about it, so he ended up taking me. We went to the boxing gym, and that's when I met one of my coaches, Javier Gomez, and he was like, yeah, I mean, you know, we charge this much, we're here from this day to this day. And I think that day, the first day they put me in to spar, like with one of the kids who had been in there for a while. He's a little bit more experienced, and like he put us in a spar just to see, you know, how I reacted or whatever. And I just remember he popped me. He popped me, and I was like, I think I got a bloody nose. And then we kept doing our thing. And after the first round, they were like, "Are you like, you want to keep going, or is that it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, look, let's keep going. Like it's nothing, you know." So we just kept scrapping, and he wasn't beating me up. Obviously, he knew what he was doing, and it was my first day. But ever since then, we've just been going back. And that gym actually closed down like 2 weeks later. But Javi, my coach Javi, he was like, "Hey, you know, they're gonna shut down the gym, and I'm gonna take all the fighters to Santa Fe Springs to this other gym where I met my manager and coach right now, Danny Zamora." And so we made that move, and it wasn't too far. It was like 10, 15 minutes over, and we've been training there ever since, pretty much.
What's that been like? Obviously, you mentioned your current manager. You met him so long ago. What's it been like to have that working relationship and that general relationship for so long?
It's honestly a blessing, man. Like, I know that it's because I feel like even more so than like I mean, obviously this is boxing. I mean, it's professional boxing. Like, it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of you know, once numbers start getting thrown at you, then you have those types of issues. But I feel like that won't really be a factor when it comes down to us, because like, you know, we've been solid since before like any of the fame or any of the attention that we're getting and all that. So I just know that, like, you know, these guys have been down with me. They taught me everything I know. So it's like, it's more like a family more than anything like a business partnership or anything like that.
Absolutely. Do you feel you can trust him, and you feel he's going to make the right moves for you in your career?
Most definitely, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's always good to have that as well. Like, as you mentioned earlier, ultimately boxing is a business. Let's talk a little bit about, I mentioned a moment ago, just want to close off before we do finish into, we mentioned Josh Taylor. There's a lot of talk on who he's going to face next. There's talk of Teofimo Lopez coming up to the weight to face him. That would be a super fight at the weight, really. I just wanted to get your opinion on that fight. Do you feel Teofimo could be too small for the weight? Is Josh Taylor too big for the weight? How do you see that one going?
Josh Taylor's a dog, man. He's a dog. I would take Josh Taylor in that fight.
Purely because of size, or?
I think both size, and he has skills too. Like you could tell he puts in the work, and I mean, he's a world champ for a reason.
Absolutely. Well, Ruben, thank you very much for your time. All the best of luck for this weekend. We wait to see you on Sunday morning. We can hear 16-0 and still undefeated. Ruben Torres, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, man.